What's good, everybody? It's Tuesday evening, one day closer to Thanksgiving, but also the big game up in the big blouse. We getting closer, y'all. Do me a favor. Speaking of getting closer, hit that like button and subscribe. Listen, y'all, we are like 18 subs away. Like our little spiel last night about getting Nevada to watch The Last Dragon, like the influx of subscribing came through. So y'all really want this man to watch The Last Dragon. So do I. But we're 18 away, y'all. Come on, let's knock this out tonight and get us to our goal, 37K. Greatly appreciate it. We're going to talk about a little update from the school board on Tate and JJ tonight as well, amongst other rivalry game banter and things like that. And we're going to have fun again tonight as we get prepared for the game. Remember your wonderful super chats that you guys are so great at. Last night was just outstanding. The content in the super chats, it was just great. Remember, it helps go towards the Pay It Forward, which is our military and our first responders. We're going to look out for them because they always look out for us. Nevada Buck, what's up, brother? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. One day closer to the game, and man, we just had a flurry of information. Yeah, we had a lot of fun last night on the show. I got a lot of positive comments on that, and again, congratulations on being the number one Ohio State podcast on YouTube. And we were so excited to ascend to the number one spot. We're getting ready for our all-time record of subs over 37,000. You could be the one. You, as you're listening right now, you could click subscribe and that could push us over the top at 37,000. When that happens, confetti is going to rain down on B Moses like that, and like the ball dropping down there on New Year's Eve, and he's immediately going to be propelled to a chair where he's going to watch Patton tonight with George C. Scott. And so I'm just very, very excited about the prospect of that, and I'm going to watch The Last Dragon, and I'm going to dress up like Show Enough on the next episode, and it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Who's the master? Show enough. I
Show
cannot
Enough.
wait for you to watch that. But listen, Nevada got me in trouble. I had a Facebook follower on my Buckeye Sports Talk page leave a comment talking about some. I cannot believe you haven't seen Patton B. Moses. I'm just like, oh, Jesus. All right, I will watch it. I will watch it. Look, Stranger Things season 5 drops, I believe, tomorrow or Thursday. So that comes first, but I'm going to get to it. I'm going to try to find it on one of the streaming services this weekend. So if y'all know where I can watch that, since it's an older movie, please let me know and I will jump on that for sure. Nevada, I got you, man. I can't wait to watch it.
Well, speaking of gotcha, the helping technician got us all today. If you're not on the Buckeye Scoop message board, that you really ought to be, because that's where a lot that's where we break all this information. That's where we discuss everything first. And today, I'm kind of scrolling through the thing, and I see a post on the top of the page and says change to JJ Smith and Carnell Tate status for this weekend. And I my I really didn't know what to think of it, and I flipped on it, and basically what the helping technician is one of our great insiders at Buckeye Scoop said is that he was upgrading the confidence. I guess I could paraphrase it from that. He believed that we were saying that JJ Smith and Carnell Tate were playing. He was there to confirm it. So what the change is, we can now 100% confirm that JJ Smith and Carnell Tate are playing this weekend. So if you've got any last little trepidation or any last little doubt, or if you're in the group that listens and thinks that there's only a 30% chance that they're playing, they're both playing. That's the change. We've upgraded it to virtual certainty at this point in time. Excellent. I mean, when I saw that and I read that, and just after getting over the mild heart attack that I had on the headline, was have been in a good mood all day, because the thought of JJ and Cornell going out there and doing their thing against Michigan, and what I know is coming for Michigan, it raised my confidence level, ever that much more in the game. And the betting market, I always watch the betting markets. I watch the prediction markets just to see how other people are kind of looking at the game. And the early line opened at Ohio State -10, or I should say that the current line this week, the actual betting line, not the pre lines. And and Michigan plus 300 on the money line. It's still minus 10, but Michigan's up to plus 320 on the money line, which means they're getting, it costs you even more, to bet Ohio State on that. So obviously the betting markets seem pretty secure with Ohio State. The people that I talk to at Ohio State, there's definitely a growing sense of confidence about this game and just about the approach of the game, the way Ohio State's approaching it, the way Ryan Day's approaching it in particular, and the game plan seems to be kind of crystallizing and coming into focus. And I think, what's going to be bad news for Michigan. There's a number of things that are going to be bad news for Michigan, but the biggest thing, think about it this way, okay? Ryan Day got called out last year after the Ohio State Michigan game by the players at a players only meeting, and this has been well documented in books and documentaries and other we reported it in real time on our message board at the time, but they've gone into more detail with the exact people say what they said. He got called out for the game plan last year. He got called out for a very conservative game plan, and the players didn't understand why the plan was that conservative and what was going on. And obviously, there were mistakes made. It wasn't all on the game plan. There certainly were execution issues and
Right.
injury issues and lots of blame to go around. But one of the specific complaints was, why did we play such a conservative game plan against this clearly overmatched team? And Ryan had to account for that and answer for that. So the question is, do you really believe he's going to go back to that this year? Do you really believe he's going to play a super conservative game plan this year, given that he got specifically castigated by the players for that last year? I'll just put that question to you first, B. What do you think about that? How much do you think about last year will affect the game plan this year?
Yeah. So, yeah, this is on par with what I've been saying. Last year's game is going to help this year's game. And this is one of the reasons. So it's one thing to have a conservative game plan that just blows up in your face and you can't do nothing about it to atone for it until another year. It's another thing when you go out 3 weeks later against Tennessee with an aggressive game plan and doing things that you should have been doing in the Michigan game and just obliterating everybody. So now you've tasted that glory, which resulted in a lot of hardware in a national championship. The players experienced it. It's just like the whole thing is like a movie. It literally is a movie. The redemption documentary is basically like a mini movie split up into a series. And it's amazing that they had the opportunity to atone for that as far as the playoffs and the national championship. Now they have a chance to atone for that in this game. So that is significant, Nevada. That, again, going back to the Cooper days, going back to the whoever days, they didn't have a chance to atone until another year. And so not only did you understand that the players were like, yo, you were too conservative, you was bugging. I know we didn't execute, but the game plan was trash. And then they had a chance to go out and implement a better game plan and flex it and win. And so you have all of that at your disposal to refer to into this game. Not only do you have the loss that stings and the motivation to atone, you also have the game plan that worked following that got you the national title. So it's huge. I said this last week, Nevada, and people gave me the side eye. That game is the gift that keeps on giving, and it's going to give for the last time this Saturday when we go up to Ann Arbor.
Well, I'll only disagree with you on one thing. I don't think this is the last time that gift is going to give. I think this is going to be a gift that gives to Ryan Day. But I mean, I liken it to be like when you were playing basketball, B, and say you went out and you're like, I don't think I was aggressive enough the last couple of games. You know what I'm saying? I didn't force the issue enough. Didn't take enough shots. Wasn't, was a little too passive. Stayed on the outside. Passed it a little around. I'm gonna take the ball and I'm gonna be more aggressive in this upcoming game. And then you go off for 45 points. Your mind just made a connection between I'm more aggressive and I just had wild success. So are you really going to be passive the next time? Probably not. You're going to be like, no, I like that feeling of how that was. And Ryan Day got that feeling 4 times last year at the end of the season. And I think nobody could watch those games against Texas, against Oregon, against Tennessee, and against Notre Dame, and say that we were playing a conservative game plan. I mean, we were very aggressive on both sides of the ball, and as you said, wild success. Three top five wins, another top 10 win, a national championship every game by double digits. All playing more aggressively, and for Ryan Day, I think it's one thing for him to go slower, a little bit more conservatively during the regular season. I would contend that this game is the start of the second season. There's nothing regular about this weekend, and now, when your downside is really just about seeding and other things like that, there's no downside. It would be insanity for Ryan Day. They all said that old definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yeah.
He's not going to go back that. So if Michigan, if Dave Portnoy and all the other idiots on the Michigan faithful are going to go out there and go, Ryan's going to feel the pressure, the pressure, the pressure, and he's not going
Yeah,
to
I
get
saw that.
and it's just like, it's so silly, and it's such a silly, like, oh yeah, Ryan's going to feel man, I'm telling you, they're going to get it, because Ryan's going to this game kind of going, no, I know exactly what I need to do. I know exactly how to, and I have the exact weapon and weaponry, to implement the maximum pain on Michigan. Um, and I think they're going to get it. And the fact that Tate and Smith are coming to this game, and are both cleared to play and can go. I mean, I frankly think we'd win the game without them, but obviously
Yeah.
with them, it definitely changes. It just levels up everything in terms that they're trying to do. Frankly, I think we're a better running team than they are. I think we can run the ball better than. I think we're better at virtually every position than Michigan. I'm trying to go position by position and trying to think about who on the Michigan team would I want to be on our team. Okay, and now that Justice Haynes is gone, and that our running backs have kind of, been steadily progressing. There's not a single player on their team that I think can start for them. Not one. I can't. I literally can't think of a single player.
Who's their right guard? That's the only one I would think is possible.
I don't know. Some big
Some schmuck.
slow guy. Some big slow Ali Haji Sheik or whatever that guy's name was or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Like
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, yeah, I agree. There's no one. They have some good players. We're not saying that, y'all. But you're right. Even Jake Butt said this year their special teams is lacking. Usually they have better special
but
teams than we have.
yeah,
He
I mean,
said
maybe I take their place kicker. Maybe I take their place kicker over. Maybe their
maybe
punter. Maybe.
punter, maybe their punter.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean,
That's
that's
it.
really it. And that hasn't always been the way. I mean, like, usually when you're looking at those teams, and they've got, Woodley, or they've got, Mozzie Smith, or they've got, you've got guys you're like, oh man, I take that guy, or I take that defensive tackle, or I take, Mason Graham, or I take, man, I'm telling you, I couldn't think of a single player on that team that I think could start for us. And when you've got that kind of of a talent edge, and you've got they I think they definitely have a mental edge over Ohio State right now, but I think that all went away once Ryan Day won the national championship, because they don't
Yeah.
have it over our players. I think that with Ryan it was a thing, man, because he seemed to tighten up more. I've mentioned this a million times, but this place stuck with me and it really angered me at the time when he like punted 4th and 1 from the 48-yard line, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I'm like, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You can't do that at any time. You certainly can't do that in the game. When you do that, you just send the message to your team that you're just tighter than a pancake. And I think for Ohio State, I think it's a perfect storm of things coming, and I think it's a reckoning for Michigan on Saturday, and I'm here for it.
I am too. And this is what's going to happen. This quote right here. When it's time to turn up the gas, we will. We're about to see what that means on Saturday. Okay? All the mockers, all the scoffers, when he first made that quote, you about to see exactly what that looks like in Ann Arbor. We saw what that looked like in the playoffs last year. Now, obviously, it came off of a loss, but we're going to see that, Nevada. And then also mentioning Jake Butt again, he echoes what you said about, you know, what the last game did. He basically said, it vindicated. the natty run vindicated Ryan Day, and he basically said what we all been saying. He's a different dude. And listen, I like Jake Butt. He's a Michigan alum, but he's a Central Ohio kid, so he's more intelligent than those up north by birth. But he's very, very solid. And he obviously wants his Wolverines to win, but he knows what's up. And he feels that Ryan Day is a different dude. It's hard to walk away from that whole situation and not be changed. And in this case, it's changed for the positive. And so, yeah, I mean, honestly, anything less than BTA is going to be surprising to me because this Michigan team is not a great team, especially with them losing their best offensive player. If Bredesen is not playing, that's a huge blow. And this team is motivated, man. They're motivated. They know they're better. They know they all they need to do is execute and do their job, and they will win this game. And so it's inching closer. It's taking long. I'm ready to get it on. I don't want to skip Thanksgiving because I'm fat, but I'm excited. I'm ready to get it on, Nevada.
Well, how's the weather shaping up, BMO? How is the weather shaping up for Ann Arbor? What do you have the latest Doppler report and what's going on? Because I heard somebody was talking today on our board, and they were like, "It's going to be in the 20s and raining," and I'm like, "Well, if it's going to be in the 20s and it's raining, that's called snow."
Exactly. Y'all bugging. That's Doppler radar 101, guys. What are we doing here? So I got 32 degrees, 1 degree up from yesterday, 35% chance of precipitation, flurries, 11 miles per hour. The wind went up 3 miles per hour. So it's the wind is creeping up a little bit in Ann Arbor. I think the the ghosts of rivalry past, Bo Schembechler is trying to get the wind to kick up more. But it's not gonna work. But yeah, that's where we are. I think it's gonna hang around that temperature and with flurries, through Saturday. So
Yeah, I mean, 11-mile-an-hour winds is nothing. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
that's absolutely nothing. So, I mean, basically, you've got almost no wind. You've got a situation where some snow flurries and probably 20 degrees at least warmer than it was last year in Columbus, and probably 30 degrees warmer than it was for the Tennessee game. And
Right.
and we threw the ball plenty good that night. So yeah, not worried about that at all. So just something to keep an eye on. I know people laugh about the weather and people went, "Oh, that's just it." Hey, I'd like to cover every base. I'm a big believer in the old make it unfair type of thing. I want to have every advantage. When I was coaching, I tried to have every advantage. I tried to have better players, better field conditions, home field advantage. I wanted to have good relationships with the refs. I wanted to have every edge that I could possibly have because you leave nothing to doubt. And I think for Ohio State, this is a leave no doubt kind of game where we're better offensively, we're better defensively. We've got a better coach. Ryan Day is so much better and more experienced than Sharon Moore, and I'll take Matt Patricia over the Tink Martindale or whatever whatever the
Yep.
heck that guy's in. And I think for Ohio State, we've talked about them going fast. We talked about them using tempo, but so one of the things about tempo is so beautiful for a road training because one, it takes the crowd noise out of the game because you're going on first sound, you're going fast, the crowd doesn't have a chance to get revved up. You make the defense play vanilla defense. They're not being able to do exotic stuff because they don't have time to call it because
Right.
you're going so fast in terms of doing it. And for a team like Ohio State, you know, it keeps you in rhythm, and you've got that first down, and you just go in rhythm from that thing. And Julian Saint's a rhythm passer. Those rhythm passers, when they get going, they're very difficult to stop. And you've got the Marmadukes at wide receiver. You've got the outlet things, and you've got an offensive line that can pass block really well. Man, I'm just telling you, go fast, run the ball when you want, run it out of the spread. Like do what USC did. USC ran those counters out of
Yes.
those 3 and 4 wide receiver formations and was killing Michigan with that
Yes, they
stuff.
were.
Absolutely killing them. So Michigan's had the ball run on them. Michigan's had the ball thrown on them. Michigan's that defense has been violated a bunch of times this year where they couldn't stop anybody. I don't see anything being any different on Saturday. I think they're going to have a really hard time in a track meet with Ohio State keeping up, and I think that's a big advantage for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, it is. And I got an early prediction. Bo Jackson's going to have over 100 yards, and I think we're going to have a total rushing amount of about 185. Um, and we're going to lead with the pass, but it's going to be like you said, Nevada. You can win the rushing battle on the back end. You're up, and so now you're running, right? Instead of trying to run early and establish the run when you clearly have these Marmadukes, like you say, at wide receiver. So anyway, I think Bo Jackson is going to have 100 yards, and it's going to come off of a couple of big hits, like a 40-yarder, 25-yarder. And yeah, that's what I see. But then also, I wanted to say real quick, the running backs did much better in pass pro this past week against Rutgers. I don't know if you noticed that, but your boy Isaiah West, who failed miserably the week before against UCLA, actually held up very nicely on that TD pass to Ennis, that dime in the back of the end zone. Kudos. And I was watching them. They overall just did a really good job with pass pro. So I wanted to shout them out. And y'all starting to bang with the super chats. I'm loving it. I'm loving some of the stuff y'all saying too. We're going to get to that in a moment, Nevada.
Yeah, well, I mean, pass protection, it's again one of those underrated traits for young backs, especially where people see they see a running back and they're like, why isn't this guy playing more? And we're like, well, he's got to know the protections,
Right.
and then he's got to have the technique to be able to protect the quarterback, because if he doesn't, he's going to get that quarterback killed. And early in the season, that was really just almost exclusively a CJ Donaldson joint, because he was the guy that could do it. But now you're right. I think that they all can do it. They're all pretty enthusiastic about it, and for Ohio State, I mean, look, we're a pass first team. There's no question about it, and it's gonna be really interesting to me to see whether or not, and I hate even saying these words, but I gotta say it, whether or not we win the rushing battle on Saturday,
Yeah.
because like part of me hopes we don't. Yeah, I hope we don't, and we win the game handily, so we can
Just to
kind of
prove a
put
point.
that, yeah, just
Yeah.
put that thing to bed. You know what I'm saying? Like let's win the surest way. And I just yeah, I think with the way that the OSU offense has been going, the way that Julian's saying, you get that guy in rhythm, man, and you get it in early, and especially for a Michigan team that doesn't play well from behind. So there's
Yeah.
such a I mean, it is overpowered to get ahead of those guys. You get two scores ahead of them, and they are in deep, deep, deep
Done.
trouble at that point. And yeah, they're
Yep.
really, really in trouble. So yeah, the good news is Ryan Day knows this, and Ryan Day's he's got the benefit, of the experience of last year. Sometimes negative energy can be some of the best learning experiences, because you never want to go there again. You never want to touch the hot stove again. Once you've touched it, you're like, no, I don't want to do that. My hand doesn't want to go there and get burned and taken off. So I think for Ryan, he's not going to play that conservative game. He's not going to do with that. He's got all the uh the weapons at his disposal, and you can kind of see it in his eye right now. You can
Oh yeah.
tell just the confidence is coming from, because I'm hearing it from inside the program, but even on the outside, even when he's talking, even when he's out there giving things, you can see the kind of the gleam in his eye. That I think any nervousness, any tension, any pressure that Ryan is from, yeah, just I mean, that was one of the stupidest
That was
bits that I've
so
ever said.
dumb.
And I get it. I understand. They're trying to be, like Ingram just tries to be like such a clown when he's
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and he's dancing on the back, and I'm just like, why are you doing? Like, I understand he's trying to. Everybody wants to be John Madden. You know what I'm saying? Like John Madden was kind of like the big lovable clown bear, oh, and whip and wombs and bang and and everybody wants to do that. But like when it's forced, when it's contrived, you just look like a clown. And I think Ingram, you get, oh yeah, pressure. I'm just like, just shut up, man, dude. Like, what are you talking about? Um, the pressure is going to be for Michigan's on the precipice of another 3-loss, 4-loss season, coming off their 5-loss season last year. And I'm telling you, the cavalry's not there. They're recruiting, is in the crap. Remember when people were all worried about Michigan's recruiting? Remember when
Yes.
that was the story? And like I went on there and I said, hey, they're recruiting. They'll finish 12th. They'll finish. Oh no, they've got all the money from Larry Ellison and they've got all the momentum and they, dude, you know where they are right now, B Moses? They're 12th, which
Yeah, I
is
haven't
exactly
even checked. That's
this is
funny.
that's exactly what they're supposed to be, and it's like, hey, for Ohio State, we're knocking on the top three again. We've got so much momentum as a program. One game's not going to define us either for good or for bad. I mean, I look when we win on Saturday. Am I going to feel better about the program for Ohio State? I'm going to be honest with you. The answer is no. I mean, I feel better after every win, but like beating Michigan to me doesn't. I know we're better than Michigan.
Right.
Nobody has to prove that to me. Nobody has to convince me. Nobody intellectually, I've already crossed that threshold where I know we're better than Michigan. The only question is, are we going to, in a one game, 60-minute battle, are we going to get enough breaks, play well enough, not get screwed and come out victorious? But I know we're better. When I look at the totality of the program in terms of where we're going and the direction and everything else, man, it's not close. These are not two programs neck and neck vying for superiority. You know what I'm saying? This is not the 10-year war where we're trading about, you know what I'm saying? This is strictly about we're clearly better. We're the national brand. We're the most powerful brand in all of college football. And I can say that now that Nick Saban's gone, I can say absolutely now that Alabama is not Alabama
Yes.
anymore. Georgia, I don't know what's going down there in Georgia, but when people talk about culture and things, sometimes people you get the side eye because they're like, oh, that's just hobbledygook talk. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
No, they got problems. They got culture issues down there in Georgia. When you have like player number 97, getting felonies and getting kicked off the team, you've got a problem down there.
Yeah.
And you just liken that to Ohio State. When's the last time we had a player going like a shooting spree or trying to, what I'm saying? Like it's just not happening. We're not recruiting those types of kids. We're not recruiting those types of problems.
Right.
So, hey, look, the game's coming up on Saturday. Really excited about it. But do I know where Ohio State is in a program? Yeah, we're the best. We're the best team in college football. We're the best program in college football, and we'll show it once again to the rest of the world on this Saturday.
Amen. True. You can downplay culture all you want, but clearly our culture is prevailing. It reminds me of the movie 300 when Leonidas was talking to the Persian messenger. He said, "We've been sharing our culture with you all day." To you 300 fans, great movie. This is a great man movie. But couple things before we get to super chats, which are rolling in. I absolutely love it. First of all, the homie Mark, who always sends great super chats, he sent me this meme to post. Ann Arbor, never heard of her. I love it. I didn't. I'm glad you said something in the chat because I wasn't looking at my phone like my message. Good stuff. Also, I wanted to show the promotion here for this Friday. It's the Hate Week show, Hate Week Banter Live. We're going to be going live all day Friday, back to back to back to back to back. Here's some guests. We got the Buckeye fam, Nevada, Funky, myself, Ohio State, Ohio's Tate, I should say, from Barstool. Great guy, by the way. Got to meet him in Wisconsin. Just a great dude. He's been killing it. Brady Edmonds, 5-star QB for Ohio State. Daniel Sanchez, Duke Pettyjohn. National perspective, we got the great guy Justin Spiro, who we love. Intrinsic, also Sports Talk Jay, the Tennessee fan, who I'm sure has increased hate for that team up north after everything that has transpired. And then Dalton Wasserman, PFF, Dalton and Wasserman, I should say. And then opponents, we got Maze Madman and College Football with Sam from the team up north side of things. It's going to be great, y'all. It's basically going to be like an assembly line of just banter and takes and just boom, boom, boom. I cannot wait for it. It was fun last year. It's going to be even better this year, Nevada.
Yeah, well, and this isn't going to be some loving. We're not there like, oh, Michigan, we love you guys, and
No
this is
kumbaya, no.
great. No, no, this ain't that kind of show. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for that kind of show where you go out there and we suck up to Michigan and we talk about this and we try to broaden our audience with Michigan fans or something like that, that ain't this kind of
Yeah,
show.
we
So
don't pander to Michigan fans
no,
over
we do
here.
not. We do not pander to them. We do not cater to them. We don't want them. We don't want them here. We don't. We're not a Michigan show. We're an Ohio State show. We love the Buckeyes. We're about the Buckeyes. We know a lot about the Buckeyes, and Michigan's going to find out a lot about the Buckeyes on this Saturday because I think they're. I love how loose Ryan Day is on this, man. I'm telling you. That's why I love, like, last week when they ran the play, when they ran the the fake kickoff, the pass across the field. And so even though it didn't work out, what I'm saying, like, even though it didn't work out, threw the ball beginning of the second half, and I love plays like that. They just convey a message to your team that, you know what, I'm not afraid. I'll do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I realize it
Yeah.
could screw up and it could have gone, but you know something, man, players eat that stuff because players know. Players, they're very discerning, and they can, if the coach is tight, if the team is tight, if the game plan is tight, they can tell. And I'm telling you, Ryan's not tight. He's not tight this week. He's not tight in preparation. He's not tight behind the scenes. He's not tight in front of the camera, and he's not going to be tight in Saturday. And in Ann Arbor, you don't have to believe me, but wait till you see. Watch the game plan, and you let me know.
Yep. And even the media, has been, like the local house. I'm here in Columbus, so news chat. I see all the local media stuff. Even they're saying he has a different look in his eye. We every time he says that a lot. That's his favorite phrase. I'm gonna have to do a meme of that. But they're even saying that he has a bounce and he's more loose and stuff like that, which I love. Also, real quick, I wanted to say the whole banter show tomorrow. Dev came up with that, man. Shout out to Dev for that idea. It's a dope idea. Wanted to show him love for that. He's the one spearheading it and whatnot. So make sure y'all show some love to Dev. Before we get the super chats, I really quickly, Nevada, wanted to just say I haven't seen the Bryce Underwood comments being posted anywhere this week. Maybe I'm gonna have to be the one. You talk about locker room bulletin board material. Remember, this kid came out and said he talked trash to LeBron James in person and said Ohio State is finished. Okay. He also said you've never seen a freshman like me. Like, to me, listen, I already know in the locker room, they already know that's being played. I'm just saying, Buckeye fans, I haven't seen that brought out. He's going to be how can I don't want to say punished. He's going to have to hold that in the big blouse. Arvell Reese, Caleb Down, Sonny Styles, and company will make sure that he eats his words, because that's like, dude, listen, you have some talent, but chill, Nevada. That was reckless, and he gonna pay for it.
He's going to be humbled. He's going to be humbled on Saturday, and
Yeah,
it's good. I mean, I think, look, in life, I always say you get what you deserve, and I think he's going to get what he deserves. And that those are big. He wrote a big check with his mouth, and let's see if he can cash in on Saturday. And hey, look, if he goes off and throws for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns, I'll tip my hat and be like, something, I was wrong about Fats. He's really, he's really special, but I don't think that's going to happen. But
nope,
the good news is we get to play it on the field, and let's see how it goes down.
absolutely. All right, speaking of going down, it's going down in the chat. Y'all is killing it per usual. Let's get to him. Josh Wilson, thanks for the 499. Going to the game in Ann Arbor this weekend. Any advice? Also, you guys are the best podcast and most reliable. OH Nevada?
I
Yeah, so I've never been there for a game. I've been there, but not for a game. I have no advice. All I can say is just take one of those like nose pinching things when you walk around campus so that you can kind of curtail the smell a little bit. Other than that, just have fun, man, and celebrate as you walk out. Nevada, what you got?
Yeah, look, I've got really, yeah, and this is a good topic because I want to ask you, B. You've been to some games. There's certain situations, and I've been to a lot of games.
Yeah,
Um, my question is, I'm just saying for me personally. For me personally, if I was going and I wasn't going as part of a large group, so I was just going with just like one of my kids or something like that,
yeah,
I'd really be cautious about identifying myself as an Ohio State fan. I mean, I really would, because I think those people up there are kind of nutty, and I think those situations. can go bad. And I think if you're not in mat, if you if you don't have protection, if you're not, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
really, I think that situation could go back because I really think they are the worst fans. It's the lowest class bunch of guys and gals and whatever up there. And I really admire the Ohio fans that go up there and represent and do the thing. Um, I, I'm not sure if I'd identify. I think I would go at least walking into the stadium kind of neutral colors and put my stuff on in the stands or something like that. But I don't know if I would open myself up to the abuse outside because I think it's going to be a very um, hostile and not hostile in a good fun way. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be hostile in a bad fun way on Saturday. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I've never been up there. I know they have idiot fans. I don't know how their game day situation is and how, vile they are in in the stadium. I mean, I don't know. I mean, usually I don't go to games by myself anyway. It's like a guy's trip, or like, so I'm not really worried about that. But yeah, in that situation, like a one person with a kid or something, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, my whole thing is I've just been told by so many that the atmosphere is just kind of just okay, like compared to the Penn States and the Wisconsins when Wisconsin is up, and other schools. So I just never really. Plus, also, I never wanted to pay some of the prices to go up there with for just I don't just haven't been that motivated. Maybe I'll do it one day, but I still got Penn State on my bucket list. I'd rather do a Penn State whiteout first before going up to Ann Arbor. And plus, I hate their school. I hate them like sports hate. Some of y'all take things too serious. I don't literally like hate the people. I hate their team. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll go up there one day, man. Me and the fellas. We'll see.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
hate them. I hate them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do.
man. I'm
I,
I'm
I
I'm good.
really, I really do. I really do.
Yeah, man. And so I just can't wait for this dub, man, because they need to shut up. All right, Brandon Surratt, thanks for the 5. If Ryan Day wins back-to-back natties but loses to Scum Saturday, does he surpass Urban and or Tressel as an all-time OSU coach? So I don't know. I mean, Tressel has one natty. Urban has one natty at Ohio State. He would have two, but both of them dominated Michigan. I'm going to say the public poll is going to say no. On paper, if you look at his full resume and don't glorify the Michigan game, as far as compared to national championships and stuff like that in playoff games, I mean, it depends on your perspective. But I think my personal opinion is Buckeye Nation would say he has not exceeded them. Now, it's funny you asked that because somebody asked me a question that was similar, but it included him winning against Michigan. They said if he beats Michigan this year and wins another natty, does he surpass? And I'm thinking to myself, like, I mean, how could he not? I know people ain't gonna like me for this, but I love Urban and Tressel, Nevada. But if he wins two natties, beats Michigan this year, all those playoff games under his resume had to deal with COVID, had to deal with NIL, transfer portal, a 3-year cheating scandal. I mean, compared to what Urban and Tressel had to deal with two natties over them, I don't know. And I'm not trying to flip your question, Brandon, but I'm saying it's funny. Somebody literally just asked me this question with that tweak. So, Nevada, I just threw a lot at you. What say you?
I'd say yes. I'd say yeah. If he wins a second natty, regardless what happens to the Michigan game, he's surpassed them in my eyes. And I think for anytime you look at Ryan Day's record against Michigan, you have to consider the fact that
Yes.
they literally bailed out of the game in 2020, which
Yeah.
was a certain victory for Ryan Days. An absolute, they were getting absolutely mollywocked that year by bad teams. We would have killed them
Yep.
that year. So that's a guaranteed win. And then the cheating scandal. So I can't look at Ryan Day and yeah, last year I think was that was an unforced error, an unforgivable mistake,
Yeah.
but he learned from it. But the ones before that, man, I really don't, I really don't blame him. I mean, yeah, like I think the two natties and then the circumstances in front of the Michigan game. To me, I think he clearly would have surpassed Tressel and Meyer. And I'm the biggest, Tressel and Meyer stan in the whole world. But two natties, that's absolutely rare air. And I think I think he's going to leave here with multiple. I think he's going to leave here with more than two
At least
natties.
three. At least three.
Yeah, I think so too. So, Ryan Day's not done yet. He's going to leave here right up there with Paul Brown.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If the other scenario I mentioned happens, he beats Michigan this year, which he will, and wins another natty, you have to put him over Urban and
I think,
Tressel.
I mean, exactly. I mean, to me, like I said, Paul Brown's up there a notch above, and then you've got Woody that's, kind of out of sight. But, if he wins three natties in this era, I mean,
Yeah,
Woody didn't have to
especially.
contend with it. I mean, no scholarship limits, no NIL, no, a weakened big time. I mean, there's so many things that Ryan Day is dealing with that frankly, I don't know how he does it.
Right.
So, but it starts with the win on this Saturday. So let's go get that one.
Yep. Great question, Brandon. Great name, by the way. All right. We got Pooh Beard. Thanks for the 4.99. Thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. The NCAA didn't give the team up north a playoff ban, so we'll deliver it to them instead. Witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station. Absolutely. Nevada's been saying that. We're going to administer the bowl ban, the 2-year required bowl ban that they should have got, that the COI cowered and did not give to them. We're going to give it to them. And I cannot wait. Great comment, Pooh Beard. What you got, Nevada?
Well, yeah, and again, and I'm going to say something that I know that people don't want to hear, and I guarantee you, I'm wait for the incoming flack on this one, your B, but this is a fact. When you talk to people up there in Michigan, I'm talking about the sane administrative types.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about the damage of that $30 million penalty to
Oh,
them.
yes. Oh,
Yeah,
they're hurting. Yeah.
they're hurting. I mean, their budget deficit this year is gonna be like close to $60 million up there. And people go, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Dude, we beat them, knocked them out of the playoffs, and they have run a $60 million deficit. That's not good for Michigan.
Yeah.
So, as much I hate the COI, that cowardice for that group for not giving them the required penalty. They, after we beat them on Saturday, knocked them out of the playoff, then the playoff ban's been fully implemented, at least for this year, and they're facing down a $60 million deficit. That's not a good thing for Michigan. And again, I'm ready for all the flack on that, but I'm just giving you the facts. That's a big deal to them up there right now, and a lot bigger than people are understanding.
Man, screw the flack. That's just truth. Like, it's the truth. Like, their AD was literally just whining, moaning, and complaining about this deficit and the 30 million on top of it. Like, the funny thing is, history told us that according to the level of their infractions, they would get XYZ, which included the 2-year bow ban. And then, of course, they destroyed the evidence, which hindered them from determining the depth of what they did to then vacate wins. Like, people need to hear this because Michigan fans are just deflecting because they didn't get what traditionally comes with their level of infractions. So they feel like they won. You didn't win. You still got popped in a different way. All right. And you about to get popped on this Saturday. So let's get it. All right. Doug Tipton, thanks for the 4.99. Last 2 years, we threw 2 picks in both games, which cost us nothing. Games just need to limit turnovers, which cost us. Not okay. I don't know. Maybe it was a typo. I think you're saying we threw 2 picks. It cost us. We need to limit turnovers. Absolutely agree. I'm going to go with Sam's not going to throw any picks on Saturday. Nevada, what say you?
Well, I mean, he's the most accurate quarterback. And again, this is not a subjective, this is just strictly objectively based upon the numbers. He's the most accurate quarterback in college football history. So I agree with you. He's no Kyle McCord. He's not an injured Will Howard. And if he has a fault, he's not he doesn't take enough chances. He certainly takes enough chances to push the ball down the field to be second in the all of college football in yards per attempt, but he's really smart with the ball.
Yeah.
And if he wants to check down to James Peoples and Max Clare and then to take advantage of shots when they're there, I'm all about that. Let's go do it. But yeah, I agree. He won't turn the ball over, and I think it's going to be a big and Underwood will. So that's a big part of the victory formula for me.
Yep, that's a great point. It's funny. There was a film watcher, I forget his name. I respect. He was basically saying he's not a check down merchant in the sense that he can't throw downfield, but they were saying that he's elite at at buying time and going through his progressions to get it to the check down. And so to me, that's going to be huge on Saturday because he's very good at not forcing it, but going through his progressions and dumping it down to a tight end or to Bo Jackson in a flat to get 7 yards instead of, no yards. So absolutely. All right, Gio Dit, what's up? What's up? Thanks for the 5. Think about it. These current players have never beaten the team up, the cheaters up north. They are locked in for this game. I have no doubt. Absolutely. They know it. They all know it. They want it. Listen, two things can be true. Natty over everything, but you still want to beat the team up north and make it to Indy because you've never been there. It's time, and they know it. And so, yeah, Nevada, the motivation is in abundance in the whack.
Well, yeah, when you have a guy like J.J. Smith who is a man of very, very few words, comes out
Yep.
and says, I am not losing to Michigan again. I believe him. I believe him, and I think he's going to be a force of nature on Saturday. Not that we needed more motivation or anything like that, but hey, the Buckeyes, they carry a lot, and when you talk all that trash and you do all the waving goodbye and the planting the flags, eventually karma catches up to you. When people do bad things, karma catches up to you, and karma's undefeated. And I think karma's going to be undefeated on Saturday, when in Ann Arbor when Ohio State takes it to them.
Yeah, when you attack and try to do wrong by others, that's not justified. It might
Yeah,
happen to you.
it
All
might
right.
very well. Yep.
What we got next here? Gio did again. Thanks for the 5. I think starting with the scumbag game, we are going to see the Georgia game Ryan Day. Ryan Day is morphing into Nick Saban like in real time. I agree, Gio did. The thing that makes me so salty about that Georgia game, the game plan was masterful. We were down players. We didn't have Henderson. I mean, it's just that call on Marvin Harrison that should have been. That game was heartbreaking. The missed field goal with New Year's Eve. Ah, and I've been wanting Georgia badly. I pray we get Georgia in the playoffs this year, please. I wanted them last year instead of Notre Dame, but didn't come to pass. But I agree. Excuse me. We might see the Georgia game Ryan Day, Nevada.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're going to see, and I think I mean, so it's not like he hasn't done it before. And we've seen him do it in big games. And why did think about the Georgia game? What was different in the Georgia game? We lost to Michigan, and he came in or kind of felt with a nothing to lose kind of approach.
Yep.
Well, he's kind of got nothing to lose on Saturday too. All we're talking about is seeding. You know what I'm saying? He could
Yeah.
play loose on Saturday. We see what happens when Ryan Day plays loose, and I agree. The Marvin Harrison call where they called the penalty and then picked up the flag and ruled no turn might be in all my years of watching Ohio State football, that might be that certainly was the most impactful bad call of all time because that game's over if that flag just stands.
Yep.
We weren't going to
Over.
review to get that. We had the flag already thrown, and for them to pick that up, I will never ever understand that. And I think that was an absolutely brutal call. And and that's where you wish that they had transparency, and you wish you could hear the communications, because I'd really love to have heard the communication on that and trying to defend how that was not targeting.
Yep. It was trash. We all know it, but this is what makes this current success even sweeter because it's been a long time coming. That should have been a natty that year. Period. Flat out. All right. Will the Thrill. What's up? Thanks for the 499. One key stat that I haven't heard anyone bring up yet: OSU's defense, number one red zone efficiency. Michigan offense, 110 in red zone efficiency. I did not know that about Michigan. That's a great point, Will. This is why you're great. This is why you're one of the great ones. I did not know that, Nevada. Did you? And what's your thoughts on that?
I knew that we were good and I knew they were bad. I didn't know the exact numbers, but no,
Yeah.
I look, this game generally turns on red zone efficiency. It's like when you make your trips down how do you do in the red zone, and how does the opponent do? Do you get touchdowns while they're getting field goals? And we've been on the bad side of those games before, like the 14-9 game where we're 9-0 at halftime, 3 field goals and no touchdowns and spring slips, and we lose that game. So yeah, no, I think it's a great stat. I think it's an important stat, and for Ohio State, and just stay aggressive. Stay aggressive. Don't take your best players off the field. Don't take JJ and Carnell and those, and don't take the ball out of Julian Saint's hands. And let's get rid of the 4 tight end formation as well, because unless you're going to bring in Lincoln and you're going to run the quarterback draw, then I might be okay with that.
I'm excited about the Lincoln package, low key, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what we do with that. But this super chat is really good right here. Austin Lewis, thanks for the 5. Tomorrow, I'm seeing Braxton and Ted Ginn Jr. at Jim White Honda. What should I ask them about this year's game? I would ask them, as former players who bludgeoned Michigan, who beat up on Michigan. Ted Ginn is a Wolverine killer in his own right. I mean, they both are, but ask them, after everything that's happened since last year, where's their confidence in Ryan Day? As a former player, what is their current confidence? Do they believe that he is over the hump mentally to go up there and get the dub? What you got, Nevada?
Yeah, I'd ask them about their approach to the game in terms of, do they, how do they feel like their approach to the game and all the success that they had might be different, and what would they change about how Ohio State approaches this game? Would they try to increase the importance of it? Would they try to decrease the importance? Would they, do they feel like we don't care enough about the game, or do they feel like we care too much? I'd be really interested to hear how they answer that question.
Yeah, that's a good one. Now, Austin, can you report back to us, please, on their answers? I'll be waiting. Don't forget, I'm very curious to hear what they had to say. All right, Karis Washington, thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. Thanks for the 199, and appreciate you always. Great part of the show. 100-0 Bucks updated for Nevada. Nevada.
And thank you for your faith, man. And yesterday, that terrible 100-3 score where you're predicting them to actually score, that bothered me all night, here. So I'm glad that you've come to your senses and you see this as a shutout on Saturday. I think it's a much more sensible game prediction, and I applaud you for
Yep, 100-0 has a sweeter ring to it than a 100-3.
it. Yeah, 100-3 would be bittersweet, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be bittersweet? You'd be like, oh
Yeah,
man,
it's like,
yeah, we could have. Oh man, that
come
sucks,
on,
man.
backups. Why did you let? Come on, Roker. Like, you got Burt in the corner. Like, why did you just give up 3?
I can see Sharon Moore kicking a field goal down 100-0 too. Can't you see that? Him line up like a 62-yard field goal. Oh yeah, that'd be all Sharon Moore.
Yes, cornball of the century. All right, Colin, thanks for the 109. Snow not expected until 3 to 5 p.m. here up north. Nevada. That's cool. Even I kind of want a little bit of flurries just for the aesthetics of the game, but it don't matter as long as that wind is cool and it's not cold, wet rain. It don't matter. It's not going to matter at all. Again, this team played in freezing cold last year. The cold was not the reason why they lost to Michigan, and they whooped Tennessee in even colder temperatures. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it regardless, Nevada, with the weather, and we'll be updating you all week with my Doppler, y'all.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that we got an accurate report. Yeah, we were hearing snow is supposed to be later in the day. It's only Tuesday, so we'll have to see how this kind of progresses. But yeah, I think it's going to be a perfect day for football, capping off a perfect regular season, and from here on out, it's nothing but domes and sunny California. So weather will not be an issue. The B Moses weekly weather report will just be an interesting side note, but it'll have no effect on the game.
Yeah, I can give you the inside the dome temperature if y'all want that.
You're like 70 degrees, 0 wind. He's like, wow, damn.
Right. Like, the nachos are nice and hot for the vendor. All right. So Geo did. Thanks for the 2. Okay, listen. B Moses, stop saying the N-word, big bro. All right, let me be honest with you. So I'm usually a, scum team up north. I was actually chastised not too long ago, Nevada. I'm not going to say their name, by someone who has a YouTube channel who I used to help with content a while ago. I mean, they really just, you shouldn't call them scum, and and they just really like, that's not classy. So a part of me on the podcast, like, okay, maybe I'll say Michigan sometimes to be respectful. But you're right. For hate week, I'll watch it. I'll just do the team up north or scumbags or whatever. And really, after all this cheating stuff, my respect level is even lesser. It's lower now, for their fan base, for everything, because they put a big damper on the rivalry with their cheating and the lack of acknowledging it as a fan base. But just being transparent with you, Gio, did that's kind of where I go back and forth with saying the M word, because I got that in the back of my mind, like, okay, But Nevada, what you got on that?
Yeah, no, I kind of go back and forth on that. I mean, again, people have to understand how much I really hate. This is where you and I are different. You're like, I don't really hate him. This is just sport. No, I really hate him.
Oh, you mean okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I really hate them. Like after what happened, and I never was that way. I never, dude. I went the majority of my life just with sports hate, good old fashioned sports hate. But now, after the cheating scandal, I truly hate them, and I don't like that side of it. I don't like the fact that that's how I feel. I know that that's a defective character for me, that I feel that strongly about it. Um, but yeah, no. So I don't like them. I don't
I
like them at
got you.
all.
I got you. I understand. All right, we got one more. P. Barry. Thanks for the 5. We can't lose 5 straight and take it for another 365 plus J off Portnoy stupidity. Let's just handle business. Will Chubbs Underwood turn it over? Yes, I do think he's going to have one turnover. I think it's going to be interception. He's going to throw a pick. And I actually kind of smell a strip sack. I don't know, but I do see a pick. And yes, Portnoy, I cannot wait for his little video in the car explaining why they got beat and all this other stuff. Yes, Portnoy, I can't stand that dude. He's the most annoying person on the planet, Nevada.
Yeah, no, I've got multiple turnovers for Chubbs, and Portnoy's got a shtick, and he just tries to go with it, and I don't, I just think he's just like a clown. He's just one of I don't take the clowns too seriously when the clowns do anything and they have the clown car and all the clowns get out of it. I don't really think looking and kind of go, man, do they really expect us to think they had like 60 clowns in that car? That's how it is with Portnoy. Everything he says, I'm just kind of like, whatever. It's not serious. He's not a serious guy. And frankly, Michigan's not really a serious program. They're not a serious threat to us in terms of our ascendance to the top of the college football world. They're not a real competitor for us in recruiting. You know what I'm saying? You think about how
Yeah.
many recruits do we go up against Michigan on? And they're just not they're not in our league. They want so desperately to be so, and that's why I think they want so desperately that this game just means that this game is the only thing that matters. The only thing you should be thinking about is this one 60-minute game. And I'm like, man, I'll take a step back and I'll look at our program, our academic progress, our national stature, our recruiting, the fact that we're the defending national champ. I mean, I'll look at all those things before I'll look at the results of any one, particular game. And that goes win or lose on Saturday. I mean, when we beat them on Saturday, that will not convince me that we're better than Michigan. I already know we're better than Michigan.
True.
So I don't need any more valid. I know we're better than Michigan. I hope our guys prove it on Saturday. I firmly believe they will, and I'll be putting my money behind that on Saturday. So I'll put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah, man, it's never been the case. We've been better than them. Again, they had to cheat to get off the schneid, and that cheating resulted in a mental lapse psychologically for Ryan Day when things didn't go well last year in the game. And so, yeah, a 3-year cheating scandal with with the fan base and the media hounding you for losing games that you were cheated in can really mess with your mind. Not to mention, other things with his family. Yeah, like I don't. I think we still should have won the game, but I understand it. So yeah, we've been better than them. And last year was supposed to be the game where we just, all right, we're done with this mess. We screwed up, but our screw up resulted in with something that propelled us into a championship. So all good. But now rent is due. Rent is due. And so I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. All right. Listen, great super chats, great comments. Chat is funny, hilarious, entertaining, per usual. Best show on YouTube. Y'all always do y'all thing. We still got, some days left in the week. I know we got Thanksgiving coming up, but we will blink and it'll be game day, y'all. And I'm excited. Nevada, any last words before we hop off?
Well, just hey, we talked about subscribing. Subscribe to us on you.
Yes.
Hit that subscribe button. Go to Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. And you can be the one that puts us over 37,000. That effectuates my watching The Last Dragon and B Moses sitting down and watching Patton. Maybe on a top 10 list of movies, Patton's got to be up there in terms of the greatest movies. Just epic. Or if you like, would you like war movies at all? True
Yo,
story.
I love
War,
war
mo-
movies.
dude,
Yeah.
America's Greatest General. The story of America's Greatest General, and you'll enjoy it.
How would you compare it to Full Metal Jacket?
Way better.
Way better.
Way
Wow.
better.
I
Way
love
better.
Full Metal Jacket. Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, it's a grand scale movie, like big, war scenes, and I mean, just like it's a big movie.
All right. You got me excited now because Full Metal Jacket is my stuff, man. That's my joint.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
all
you'll
right.
enjoy it.
Cool. All right, y'all. Listen. It's going to be a great week. Already a great week. We appreciate y'all. Go Bucks. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.